Thanks for tuning in to another video, and for today I'm going to talk about some smart tags, and I'm going to talk about what's the same and what's different between the Chipolo Pop, the Loop, and the Chipolo Card. I'll also discuss how these tags actually work and address your privacy concerns at the end of the video. So let's start with what is the same between all these. Obviously they're all the same company, but they're also very easy to pair. So you just hit the button here 2 times and then the phone will automatically see it, and then you just pair it. And the button here though is not able to be felt and you can't see anything, so you just have to assume the button is there. And the same thing here, it's right in the middle, you just push. There's no indication that there is a button there, but it is. On the card though, there is the button, and again you just push this twice and it will pair with your phone very easily. Now you don't need the Chipolo app. There are some things that you can do with this and I'll show you that later. But to pair this and to track it, all you need is the Find Hub if you're using an Android phone, or the Find My app if you're using an Apple phone. Now for tracking, they all use low energy Bluetooth, and none of these have the UWB, which is the ultra wideband. This is what allows your phone to give you an actual direction when you are searching for the device. So you just follow the arrow and it will direct you right towards the tag, which is really great. Since these trackers only have Bluetooth, which most of the trackers do, but Samsung and Apple's trackers do have the UWB. But since these only have the Bluetooth, the phone will only give you distance information. So it's like playing the hot and cold game. The circle gets bigger as you get closer, and if you move further away, it will get smaller. Which is okay, it just takes a little longer to locate something. And of course, when you do get close to the device, you can go ahead and ring the tag, and then hopefully you'll be able to find it by sound. Now this only works if the tag is within Bluetooth range of your phone. More about the ranges of each tag in a moment. Now, if you're not close by, meaning that the tag is outside the Bluetooth range of your phone, then the Find Hub app or the Find My app with Apple will use other phones in the network to find your tag, and it will display it on the map. Again, I'll show you more about this at the end of the video. Now, they all have a siren and they're all very loud, but the Pop here does have 120 decibels. The Loop is a little louder at 125, and the Card is 110. And, it's pretty great that they can put a siren in that thin of a device. And of course, I'm not going to demo the siren because it is very loud, but there's some options that you can adjust in the app, so I'll show you that. So here's the Chipolo app. We click on this, and then it's going to show you all your devices that you have. We'll just pick one here. And if you scroll down, change ringtone. So let's click on this. And then these are all the ringtones that you have. And the options for the different ringtones are the same on all 3 devices. Now, the other thing which is kind of unique with Chipolo is that you could also make the light blink when you ring it. So ring and blink, you can enable it. Now, this sounds awesome, but in actuality, it's not that big of a deal because the LED light that they're talking about is just the battery indicator light, which is kind of tiny. And unless you're very close to the device, I don't think it's going to make a difference with you finding the device or not. But it's cool that at least they have that feature. As I hinted to in the video so far, all these devices are compatible with Apple and Android, but they're not compatible at the same time. So if you have the tag connected to an iPhone and you just bought a new Android phone, well, you just reset the tag and then you compare it to your new Android device. So that is easy enough. But the tracker can't use both Android and Apple networks at the same time. Whatever tag your phone is paired to, it will use that network. So if you are paired to an iPhone, then you're going to use all the other iPhones that are available in the network. It's really great that these tags are not locked down to one network, like just iPhone or Android, so then if you do change phones, then you have to get rid of all your tags. So it's great that you have the flexibility with them, and no trackers as of now use both systems at the same time. All these tags have a reported lost option, so let me just show you that quick. So this is in the Find Hub app or in the Apple Find My app. Same thing, you just click on, and it's not in the Chipolo app. You don't even need to use this app for this feature. So let's go into the Find Hub. And I turned off Bluetooth just so that it will not know that my tags are right here. And let's just pick one here, Chipolo Loop, and there we go. And again, if I turn on my Bluetooth, obviously it's going to find it right away, but I could mark it as lost. So if I do mark it as lost, then the phone will notify me when the tag is found by another device. So I basically just don't have to keep checking my phone to see where it is on the map. It will let me know when it is found. But if you click on it, we could mark it as lost, right? Just tell you sure you want to do this? Yes. It's not that big of a deal. If you find it, then it just takes off this lost mode. But here is the stuff I can put in here. So if someone finds my tag, it will show them this information, and it shows them this through Bluetooth. So they don't have to do anything special. They just need to have their Bluetooth on. And then If they pick up my Chipolo Loop and it's attached to my keys or my wallet or in my backpack or whatever it is, they get this and then they're going to see this information, whatever I put on here. So I could put a phone number. You could also do a message here. Hey, if you find this, please contact me and I'm going to send you the money if you can mail it back to me, or, whatever you want to do. You could beg and plead to get your device back. You have to include your email so that they do have a way of contacting you. And then you could just correspond with them and hopefully get your stuff back. This worked really nice. Say if you're traveling or something like that and you didn't realize you left your stuff behind, and then you're on a plane or a bus and now you're 4 hours away from the actual device, you don't want to have to go back and try to go find it, right? So if someone does find it, then they will hopefully contact you. And again, you can arrange it for it to be mailed or something like that. Or if you're actually just like 20 minutes away, maybe they could, if it's at a restaurant or something like that, maybe they could just hold on to the bag or a wallet or whatever it is at the restaurant, and then you can go pick it up the next day or something like that. So it's nice that this feature is available, but basically you have to enable this. You have to realize it's lost and put it in lost mode. Otherwise, when someone finds your tag, they won't see any of this information, and they won't see any information at all. So again, that's more about the privacy. I'll get into that in the next section. Now, all three of these have buttons on them, as I said, and if you push the button 2 times, you will be able to enable Find My Phone feature. And your phone will ring even if it's in silent mode, which is really a nice feature. Now, this is toggled on and off in your Chipolo app. Okay, so let's go to the Chipolo app here. And again, it's going to pull up my 3 different options. And I'll go over these things in a minute. There's not too much in the app, but there's a couple of different options. And now, call your phone, right? So I have it on, and if you click on it, you can turn it on and off. And then also you could have the flashlight of the phone blink on and off, which is kind of a nice feature. None of these trackers have an SOS feature, and I think this is a great feature, actually. It is possible this comes to these in the future, but as of the time of this video, it is not available. Now, the SOS feature is basically you either push and hold the button on the tag or press it 5 times fast or something like that, and then the siren will go off, which will hopefully scare away any potential attacker, or it will bring attention to your situation. But then also, you would have to set this up beforehand, but you would have your trusted contacts in the app. And then when you do activate the SOS, those people would get your location. Some of the other trackers do have that. But again, the Chipolo, as of now, does not have them. But they do have a camera function. So let me just show you that. So this is not the most convenient thing, because you do need to go to the Chipolo app. And you can find the Pop now. Again, the same menu as on all the devices. But then, let's see here, take a selfie. Just hit the button in here when you're ready, and it will take the picture. Double press. And there you go. So there's just one extra step in that you have to open up the app here and turn on the camera mode. But remember, if you didn't do that, then what would happen is you'd be calling your phone if you hit the button twice. So again, that's the way to get around having those 2 features. Now, another nice feature that the Chipolo has that not every tag has for some reason is the Left Behind feature. So basically what that means is that your keys or whatever and your wallet is in the restaurant and you leave and you drive away, and then it will let you know, hey, your tag is out of Bluetooth range. Maybe you want to go back and go get it. And that is really nice, because then you can get back quickly instead of getting home and then finding out 2 hours later that you don't have your wallet or your bag or whatever you had with you. It's not with you anymore. So that is a nice feature to have. So if you click on Chipolo Card here, out of range alerts. By default, this comes on, but for some reason, if it annoys you, you could turn it off. I'm just going to show you your options are either to turn it on and off. And this actually worked out very well. I left some tags at my house, and then I drove off a little bit, and I got notified pretty quickly that they were left behind. So definitely quick enough to be helpful. Now, just a related feature of the app is if you did leave your stuff behind, you could save locations, so then you would know exactly where it was. So if you just go into the app here and we go into settings, and I got to blur some of this out, but if you just scroll down here to saved location. So if you click on this, so this is where you can save a location, like it says home or work or your girlfriend's house or your boyfriend's house or whatever, and then it will just let you know that that's where the tag was last seen. So just a little more of a convenience factor, really. Okay, so now we're up to the section here, what is different between all of these? And obviously, the form factor is different. You can see all the size differences here. Now, the Chipolo Pop here has a little hole, so you can put, something like this in there, and then you can attach it to your key ring or your backpack or whatever you want to do, or you can just throw it in something. It is actually pretty small, and let me just show you what it looks like next to a quarter, so you can see the size difference there. And again, really tiny here, and that's what that looks like. And I'll just throw the loop in there. The loop and the pop are basically the same size. I mean, there's not too much difference there, almost exactly the same, I'd say. And then you just get this loop on top here, which is, you know, the name of it. But this is a flexible thing. So, I mean, it seems durable, but I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if this was like metal or a hard plastic or something, but it is a flexible thing. But of course, you could attach something to this very easily, and then this could attach to whatever you want. And then, of course, you got the card here, which is the same size as a credit card, as you can see here. I mean, basically the same thing. And here is, I mean, the thinness. It's a little hard to see on the video, I know, because these are so thin. But this is actually very thin and light. So this would basically be the size of a credit card, and that would fit in your wallet just fine. Now, the other difference is the buttons. They all do have a button, but the button here is in the middle of these two guys, and you can't see it or feel it. But on the card, at least you know exactly where it is. The loop does have a small LED light, which is just a battery charging indicator, but it is there. And the card does also have a little LED light to indicate that it's charging. But again, you can turn that on if it is helpful for you to find it, which I'm not sure it would be, but it's there. So let's talk about the range on here. So the range is how far away your phone will detect this device or other phones would detect it. So obviously a longer range would be better. So the Chipolo Pop is 300 feet or 90 meters. The Loop gets a little bit of a bump up, 400 feet or 120 meters. And the Card is the same thing, 400 feet or 120 meters. So you can think of the Loop here as just a slight upgrade over the Pop. Most of the features are the same, but a couple of the different features, the Loop is just a slight upgrade. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the batteries. But first, I'm going to implore you to maybe consider subscribing or maybe comment or like the video. That really does help me out a lot. Let's talk about the batteries. The Pop is a replaceable battery. You have to wedge something in there and pry that open, and I feel like that might get a little beat up over time. But it's going to be replaced with the standard CR2032 battery, and these are cheap. I got these, I don't know, for a few dollars. So not a big issue, except that you do have to, you know, pop this open and replace it. The Chipolo Loop has a USB-C charger right there, and then of course there's the battery indicator light, nice and tiny. And then the Card is a wireless charger, because there is no way you can get a USB-C on there. And previous cards have been non-replaceable, but this one now you could just throw it on a wireless charger and it charges, which is great. And there is a difference in the battery duration. On the Pop, you're going to get a year, so replacing that battery once a year is not that big of a deal. And on the Loop and the Card here, you're going to get 6 months of charge, and then again, you just recharge them when you get a notification that the battery is low. So another difference is the dust and water rating on these. So the Pop is IP55. The Loop and the Card are rated for IP67. So these are protected very well, I think, but the Pop is good enough for rain and splashes. So any kind of submersion or anything like that, and it will get ruined. But hopefully these tags are not exposed in the elements too often, so hopefully that's not too big of a deal. But if you're concerned about that, then you need to go with the Loop or the Card. Now, another big difference with these, which some people might like, is the color options that you get. So the Pop comes in 6 different colors. The Loop also does come in 6 different colors, so that's kind of really nice. This is a great thing if you have multiple sets of keys or multiple, bags or something like that. You could have a different color assigned to each of them. The different colors make it very easy to tell which product is with which tag. Now, as of now, the Card only comes in black, and that may not be too big of a deal because probably this is going to be in a wallet, so you wouldn't see it. But you could also maybe attach this to a laptop or put it in your passport or an ID card bag or something like that. So that might be helpful, but probably wouldn't be as visible as the other two. Now, the other difference is the prices on these. So the Pop is $30, the Loop goes up to $40, and the Card is also $40. So actually kind of a little expensive for tags, especially if you're getting a bunch of these. But if you are planning on getting several of them, you go to the website, there are deals for bundles of these. And sometimes they have the Card and the Loop bundled together for a cheaper price. So if you're thinking about getting more than one, then obviously try to buy them at the same time and save some dollars. Now also just to let you know, I did test the actual ranges on these, and even in an open area, I didn't get exactly the ranges they have, but close. Also keep in mind, if you were not in the open area, like if you were in a house or if the tag was in a car or something like that or a store, then the range goes down considerably. And again, if it's outside the range of your phone, then you're going to use the network phones to find them. Now, let's talk about that. Okay, so this is a quick schematic of how this works. I was going to draw pictures, but my pictures weren't very good, so I just got a basic schematic here. You have your phone here, you pair it to your device. Now, this tag is locked to this device. It can't be paired to anything else unless it gets reset and then everything's erased. But once it's paired, now this tag is all the way over here. It is outside the range of your phone. Now, your phone can't detect it at all, so it relies on other phones to pick it up. The device sends out a little signal. Another device picks it up. The person with this device has no idea that anything was picked up by the tag. They have no idea that anything happened. They don't get any notification at all. The phone or the device just relays the information to the Samsung Cloud or the Apple Cloud or the Google Cloud, whatever company that you are using or whatever network you're using. They get that information, and that will be, again, all encrypted, and the only thing they have is the tag's location, and then they send that information to you. And all that's encrypted, and supposedly Google and Samsung don't keep track of any of the location data on any of this stuff. And then, so you had no idea which phone or which device actually found your tag, and the person who found your tag has no idea that they sent information to you. So it is completely anonymous, except if you put it in lost mode, then this person that finds your tag will see whatever you put in there. So you put maybe your phone number or your email or a little comment saying, hey, if found, please mail to me. That's the only thing they will see. I did another video on Samsung Smarttags, and it was actually very popular. And a lot of people had comments and questions on how these things work. So if you do have any questions, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you made it this far, obviously, you need to subscribe, like the video, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.